Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I need to think of a new intro. Today I filmed my Christmas inspired makeup look. So I decided to do some glitter because it's Christmas and I wanted to incorporate either red or green. So I chose to do a gold glitter, kind of maroony red brown eye, and a liquid lipstick that's like a deep red color. Feel free to switch up the color glitter of your choice. If you want to do silver, do silver. If you want to do rust, do rust. If you want to change the lip color to a nude or anything, I do suggest using maybe a liquid lipstick because if you plan on wearing it all day, that will help it last longer. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial and have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will see you soon. Bye. Okay, so I'm going to start off. I always say okay. I'm going to start off with my Stila One Step Illuminator Primer. And this is just going to help my skin have like an extra glow. Now while that's drying, I'm going to be using this BECCA Ever Matte Poreless Priming Perfector. This stuff is like glue, so I don't really use it that often because I am dry, I don't really get oily. But since this is a Christmas look and this is a look that I'm going to be wearing literally all day, I want to make sure that the places that I do get a little oily, that they will not. So I'm going to be putting this matte primer in just like my T-zone area. So I'm just going to put it around here, but I usually don't use matte primers, but this one blurs pores like instantly, and I think that is awesome. Now that we got that on, just to bring back a little bit more moisture, I'm going to spray my face with the Smashbox Photo Primer. Primer water, my bad. Now watch. I know as soon as I take off all this makeup, I'm gonna have pimples wherever I put that BECCA primer because that just always happens to me when I use a matte primer, but oh well. So for foundation, I'm trying these. I finally jumped on the bandwagon. So these are the Loreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. So I wasn't sure of my shade, so I'm just gonna mix a little bit of 102 with 104. Now I'm going to be blending that in with a beauty blender because even though I know this is a matte foundation, again, I'm dry, so I just want to lock in a little extra moisture. So I'm taking like little steps to that way I don't like over dry my face, I guess, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to mix these together and dot them on my face, and looks exactly like my color, so that's good. And then I'm going to blend in with a beauty blender. I do have extremely high hopes for this foundation, considering it's always sold out at the store and a lot of YouTube people talk about it. So I really hope it doesn't disappoint me because I want to love it as much as everybody else does. But so far I really like it. It's like almost identical to my shade, my natural skin tone, so that's awesome. Normally I have to mix a bunch of colors, so I'm really liking that. And I like the finish. It's not as matte as I thought it would be, so that's even more awesome, I guess. So let's go ahead and move on to brows. I'm kind of doing everything backwards today because I plan on wearing glitter for the eyeshadow and I just don't want to worry about fallout. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows, and I'm using the Anastasia Brow Palette, and I'm just going to be using the blonde, and I believe this is taupe. Yes, so I'm going to be mixing these two. So this for like right here to the middle, and then I use the darker color for the tail. And I'm using the Anastasia 12 brush. I really like this brush. So I'm just going to fill those in. So I'm not going to worry too much about my brows because I plan on wearing my bangs down, so I'm not going to take as much time as I normally would because you can't really see them. But now I'm just going to go over them with the Benefit Gimme Brow just to make them look a little bit more fuller. Which, if I can be honest for a minute, when I first bought this, I think it's like $20, and if you can see, it's like super small, and I was like, wow, that is such a waste of money, and I was like a little disappointed that something so small would cost so much, but I honestly haven't found anything that compares to it, and it has lasted me about a year. So, that being said, I really like it. The only other mascara I've tried is the NYX, and it works, but it doesn't like make your eyebrows look fuller. So I kind of want to try the Anastasia brow mascara and see if it kind of like does the same thing as this Benefit one, but I really like this. So now I'm just going to go over them with the clear Anastasia gel. I usually just focus this on the tail pretty much. Like so. And now I'm going to be using the Benefit Eye Bright, and it's just like a brow highlight pencil, which I probably should sharpen it, but I like to use this to carve out my brow bone and just give me like a base for my brow highlight, I guess. Even though this is like a highlight in itself, but I like to use both. I'm just gonna kind of buff that in. So now for eyeshadows, I'm going to be using a couple of Colourpop ones. So the first one is Glow, and it's just a nice kind of just base cream shade. So I'm just going to apply that all over. Actually, I'm going to put on some concealer on my eyelids because I tend to get really dark right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that right now. And the concealer I'm using is my favorite drugstore one, and it's the Hard Candy Glamouflage Heavy Duty Concealer. I love this stuff. So I'm just going to use my finger. And Beauty Blender. This looks a little crazy right now, but okay, so back to the Colourpop, and I'm just using a Sigma Tapered Blending E40, and I'm just going to put this everywhere. And now to put a transition color in our crease, I'm going to take Colourpop Cornelius, and it's just kind of like a tan color. So I'm just going to be focusing that in the crease. For that, I'm using a Sigma E25. Just more of a condensed blending brush, I guess. So I'm just going to focus this in the crease. And I am bringing it up, just whatever's left over on the brush, up a little higher. Now I'm going to be using the Lime Crime Venus palette. This is the first one. They did just come out with the second one, and I plan on getting it. I just haven't gotten around to it. If you haven't seen this palette, it's not for everybody, so that's for sure. But I really like these colors, and for me, doing my makeup, I like these kind of colors. Again, this is not for everybody. But I'm going to start by using Divine right here, and then I'm just going to get darker and darker in the crease. And I'm keeping a rounded eyeshadow look today. Now I'm going in with my favorite brush. This is the E47. This really helps me get that rounded eyeshadow look, and that's why I love this brush. Start with Creation, I guess, which is this color right here. And I'm just gonna start working that in there too. And now I'm gonna move on to the Venus color right here, which is kind of like a purpley mauvey shade, and I'm just gonna be doing the same thing. I'm just gonna bring this down a little more on my lid. And now I'm gonna go back in with the E25, and I'm gonna be taking, what's that say? Aura? I'm not sure, it's this cream color. And I'm just gonna kind of buff out those edges. Now I'm going back in with, okay, I think I'm gonna start with Muse first. So it's like this dark red color. And I'm just gonna pick up a little bit at a time, and I'm gonna be focusing this in the outer corner. I'm gonna take a little bit of this dark color right here. It's called Icon. And I'm gonna keep the same brush. I'm just gonna lightly dust that in the outer V. I'm gonna put that away for a minute. And I'm gonna go back to the Colourpop color in Cornelius, and back with my blending brush, and I'm just gonna kind of blend around there, around all the red. Oh, it looks a little crazy here, but when we put our concealer, we're gonna fix all that right there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the base for the glitter I'm going to be using, and it's another Colourpop shadow. This is so pretty. I believe it was it's called Birthday Girl, so I think it was limited edition, but it's just a really pretty gold shimmery color. So I'm just going to apply that with my ring finger, and I'm just going to be putting this all over where I want my glitter, so pretty much in the center, in the inner corner, and not so much on the outer corner, and then blend it up. For the glitter, I got these off of Etsy. The lady's name is Taylor Cosmetics. If I can find her, I'll link it down below. And this is in Disco Queen, and just different color of reflex. It's not just all gold, so I really like this. To attach that, I'm going to use the Toofaced Glitter Glue. This is my favorite thing to use for glitter. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm going to tap it with my ring finger, and then I'm just going to put it on top of where we put that other one. And I usually do one eye at a time because it dries pretty fast. So I'm taking this Real Techniques brush, and this is the detailed brush. I put a little bit of the glue on it, and I'm just dipping it into the glitter, and I'm just gonna pack where I want it. So now while that's drying, I'm gonna go back in with Creation and the blending brush, and I'm just gonna kind of blend away some of that glitter fallout that got on the top where my crease is. So I'm just gonna lightly put this in there. Now back in with Colourpop Cornelius, and I'm just gonna kind of bring this color up a little bit so you can see it when my eyes are open. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a makeup wipe. I have talked about these. I think I put them in my favorites video, but they're from Marshalls and they're from the brand Butte Essential. Sure. They're antioxidant facial wipes. This is the pomegranate acai. I always feel weird when I say that. But anyways, I really like it, and it's like $4 and you get 60, and the smell is awesome. So I'm just gonna take that and I'm gonna wipe away the glitter, and I'm also going to clean up the edge right here. So let's go ahead and do our under eye concealer. So I'm going to start off with the Maybelline eraser, and it's just a salmon color to cancel out my dark circles. And I'm going to use a beauty blender, just lightly. And then for concealer, we're still using the hard candy. Quickly blend this in a little bit with my finger. And I'm not going to do that because I'm wearing my base down. So then I'm just going to blend that out with a beauty blender. Okay, so I'm going to set my concealer with the Laura Mercier Translucent, just because I know this stuff lasts all day, and like I said, since it's Christmas, so we're going to be wearing our makeup all day, which, well, I will be. So I'm just going to pat it out, and then I'm going to set it with the Real Techniques setting brush. And I think I'm going to put a little extra and bake a little bit. And I'm just gonna lightly set up here because we already put the matte primer, so I don't need like too much. And I'm gonna go in with the beauty blender, and I'm just gonna dip it in the powder and then pack it underneath my eyes. Like so. So I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of the face. So let's contour a little bit. So I'm using NYX blush in Taupe. I really like this for contouring, and then I'm using this Real Techniques contour brush. I really like this too. I'm just gonna start with the cheek and blend my way up. And I'm lightly pressing this brush on my face. I'm not putting it on there very hard. And I got pretty lucky because I am a quarter Indian, so my cheekbones already are pretty pronounced, so I don't really, I mean, I don't need to contour, but I just like how it looks. So I'm not gonna do anything too heavy. Like so. I mean, it looks heavy, but it really isn't. And underneath my lip. Like so, and then I'm just gonna do a little bit on my temples because I'm wearing my bangs down, but I need to set that anyways. For bronzer, I'm using this, and I'm using the Milk Chocolate one, which I told myself I was gonna rip them all out of this book so it'd be easier. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I'm gonna try something different, and I'm gonna use this Eco Tools fan brush. And I'm gonna just put bronzer on my forehead this way. Let's see. Actually, I like this to bronze my forehead. I really like that to bronze the forehead, even though it doesn't matter because I'm wearing bangs, but very nice. And then I'm going to just go in with, let's go ahead and use the same fan brush and bronze our cheeks and see what that looks like. Too soon to act on it, can we ever be? That all depends on what you're feeling from me. Show you all the way. And now I'm going to take the Real Techniques contour brush, Toofaced milk chocolate bronzer, and I'm just going to bronze around my jaw. So I'm just going to put a little over that because it looks a little bright to me. And a little bit on my neck. Just a little bit. And right here below my ear. Like so. So now we're all bronzed and we smell like chocolate. Let's go ahead and wipe off this under eye baking. And I'm using a Real Techniques stippling brush. Or what is this? Kabuki brush. So, my highlight still looks a little bright. Maybe it's just the camera, but we'll just go ahead and go with it. So let's go ahead and do highlighter. So I'm going to start with a cream. I'm using this little tiny Benefit Watts Up. I really like this. It's a champagne color, and I noticed my highlighter stays more like bright, I guess, throughout the day when I use a cream and then put a powder highlighter on top of it. So I've been doing that lately. So I just like to rub a little bit on my ring finger and then just pat it where I want it. And then I usually bring the cream highlighter like all the way down here so I can have a little subtle highlight right there. And then I'm just gonna do a C shape all the way up to the arch of my brow. I'm gonna do my cube as well, and above that. And a little bit on the tip of my nose. I'm gonna use Jaclyn Hill's Champagne Pop. This is the holiday palette. I'm finally busting this out. I haven't used it yet. So I'm going to be using the middle shade again, that is Champagne Pop. And then I'm using the Anastasia highlighter brush. I love this. Right on top. And I'm dragging it down where I'm going to put the blush. So for blush, I'm using this City Color Be Matte Blush, and it is in the color Papaya. I wanted something that was more neutral color, I guess. God, my nails look so bad. Something a little bit more neutral and not anything too... What do you know? You want to know who's calling? Whitney. Could you guess? She literally has called me in the middle of every video I've tried to do this week. And the week before that. So everybody say hi, Whitney. Like I said, I want more of like just a basic color, nothing too crazy because we already have a really nice highlight and the eyes are going to be insane. So I wanted to keep it calm on the cheeks, blush wise anyways. And I'm using a Real Techniques blush brush. So I'm just going to lightly dust this, and it's just going to help the highlighter kind of like melt into it, which I started doing it this way and I love it. And I'm gonna go in with the Kabuki brush and just kind of blend all that together. So I'm gonna go ahead and bake my contour just because, I mean, we're going all out for everything else, so we might as well. And I'm just gonna use the sponge, dip it in the powder again, and then just line it underneath that contour line. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let's start the eyeliner while that bakes. So I'm gonna be using this Urban Decay waterproof liquid eyeliner. It's the Perversion. I don't know if that's the name of it or what, but it just looks like this. So I'm just gonna do a basic wing, and I have to get really close for this. So I apologize, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So I went ahead and brushed off the powder. So now we are just going to tight line. So for that, I'm using the Toofaced liner. It's my favorite, I really like it. And then I'm going to be applying these red cherry lashes. They're $1.19. I like them because they just look full and thick. It'll focus. So I'm just gonna be wearing these, and I will be right back. Now that our lashes are on, I'm going back in with the Sigma Crease E47, and I'm going to darken up the crease by the wing. So I'm going to be using the dark red mousse shade. And then I'm going to go back in with Icon, which is a really dark color, very lightly on the outer corner. Let's go ahead and put some black in the waterline, and then we'll go ahead and buff that out. And I'm gonna go in with the accretion right here. So back to the shader brush, I'm going to take a little bit of the Venus color. So I went and got a brush that's a little more compact, a little more dense. This is the Urban Decay blending brush, and I'm going to dip it into this dark Icon color. So now we're done with the Venus palette. I'm going to take the Colourpop again and Cornelius, and I'm going to take my blending brush, and I'm just going to like blend right underneath, very, very lightly. I'm going to use Pearl and Champagne Pop. So I'm going to just be using both of those to do my inner corner. Just Pearl on my brow bone. I'm just gonna coat my bottom lashes with mascara. So I'm gonna go in first with the Loreal Telescopic, and then Toofaced Better Than Sex on top. I feel like that makes my bottom lashes look a little bit more full, so I will be right back. Now for lips, I chose to use one of the new Dosa Color, what is this, metallic lipsticks. This is Scarlet Lace, and it's just a red color. If you didn't want to do red, you could do a berry, but I did want to incorporate at least red or green since this is my Christmas tutorial, so I chose to do a red lip instead. So first I'm going to outline my lips in this lip liner by Jessie's Girl, and it's in the color Brick. So it's just like a deep red. It doesn't really match the liquid lipstick, but I'm really just using this for a base and an outline. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now this is the completed makeup look. So now you just want to set your face. So first I'm going to be using the NYX Matte Finish Spray. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to let that dry. And then just over the highlighter, I'm going to go in with MAC Fix Plus, just so that pops a little more.